Hi, I'm going to show you how we make one of the favorites, which is melt in your mouth pot roast. First, you chop up your onions. Then you chop up your potatoes, put them in water and rinse off the starch. I usually go through that twice, that process. Then I cut up my carrots, which are about that wide, okay? And then I put them in and mix them up with the potatoes. Okay, then we come over to the stove, and no matter what size cookware you're using, the principle's the same. You go ahead and you put in a paper towel or a napkin, and you set your stove for medium-high, and it takes about 4 minutes. This should start turning a burnt orange, like a toast color, and take it out. Don't leave it in too long. So I took a paper towel already and I patted dry both sides of the roast. Now this is a USDA chuck roast Angus beef. And now that it's dry, I go ahead and I liberally pepper both pieces. And if you only have one piece, that's fine. But then I turn it over and I do the same to the other side. As you can see, it's just starting to get a little toasted, like a piece of toast. And before it gets too dark, you want to take it out. It's time to sear the roast. So you put your roast in, press down, and press down. Go ahead and put the lid on and set your timer for 5 minutes, so it sears for 5 minutes before we turn it over. Position of the lid, it's cracked generously so that the air can get to it and you'll get a good sear on your roast. So I'm using a 9-quart brazier pan, which is big enough to do 3 whole chickens, and I'm using 2 3-pound pieces of the Angus beef chuck roast. So it's been 5 minutes. It's time for me to flip over the roast. Okay. There you are. You set your timer for 5 minutes. You put the lid back on, generously cracking it. Okay, the timer just went off. It's done being seared. And now the first thing I do is I use some Bragg's liquid aminos and I spray it all over the top of the roast, both sides. And in between, and then I put my onions on top of the roast mostly, and then I've already taken care of the potatoes and the carrots, and I just dump them in there, spread it out. Now I was on medium-high heat, and now the searing is done, so I put the lid on tight and I drop it down to just medium. And then I wait for it to, it'll click a little now, it'll settle down. When it starts clicking later, steady, then I go ahead and I turn it to low and I leave it there for several hours. The cookbook will tell you about 25 minutes a pound and it's done. It's true, but it won't be very tender. So let it go for about 6 to 9 hours and it'll be really, really tender. Now the piece I'm using is a little bit bigger than the surface area of the cooktop, but that's okay because there's even heat distribution throughout this. And once you're done, it'll be so juicy and succulent, everybody will want to come over to have your roast. So now that this is clicking steadily, I want to go ahead and turn it down to low, which is the point where it stops clicking. Okay, so once this is done, this is going to be so succulent. And let me tell you, there's only one thing my wife likes more than a man who cooks outside, is a man who can cook inside.